I told you, honey, I can't babysit the kids tonight because I'm too busy watching Tom Brady checkdown highlights. I don't care what the judge said. This is a free country and I can do what I want. Oh, hello there. I didn't know you were listening. Let's begin this Week 9 NFL review, shall we? Philadelphia versus Houston. The salty-ass haters keep finding ways to discredit the Eagles, and the Eagles just keep on winning anyway. Yeah, beating a shitty Texans team 29-17 isn't exactly on the same level as beating Brady and Belichick in the Super Bowl, but we're now 8-0, so suck it. This was a textbook trap game for Philadelphia, and they got off to a slow start, as it was tied at 14 midway through the third quarter. But the team finally cleared its head from the poisonous marijuana fumes radiating off of Houston offensive lineman Laramie Tunsil's body to take a 21-14 lead on a Jalen Hurts touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. With the score 21-17 entering the fourth, MVP Hurts put the game away with another touchdown pass to Dallas Goat-ert with a 2-point conversion run to reach the final score. Trevor Lawrence, but drafted in the third round, aka Davis Mills, was unable to do anything after a good first half. Outside of a lost fumble, Hurts was once again great and is a legitimate top 2 to 3 MVP candidate right now. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby! LA Chargers versus Atlanta. This was one of 4 games on this beautiful week that ended in a 20-17 score. In this instance, it was the Chargers who managed to emerge victorious, but it wasn't always easy. Atlanta jumped out to a 10-0 lead after 1 thanks to a Cordero Patterson touchdown run and a field goal, but the second quarter belonged to the Chargers, as Austin Eckler scored back-to-back touchdowns to give LA a 14-10 halftime lead. Patterson punched in another touchdown to give Atlanta a 17-14 lead entering the fourth. Justin Herbert was better than his stat line suggested, but he still had too many checkdowns for my liking. Air that fucking shit out, bro. You got a rocket launcher for an arm. Shame on Joe Lombardi. Regardless, he led a game-tying field goal drive with 5:27 left. Atlanta promptly went 3-and-out, and then, well, this game ended exactly the way you'd expect a Chargers-Falcons game to end. Herbert led LA into field goal range with under a minute left, and then on third down, with Atlanta having no timeouts, Eckler fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by the Falcons, who then proceeded to go full Marlon McCree and fumble the ball straight back to the Chargers. But now Herbert had to get LA back into field goal range again, which he did. And LA's kicker Cameron Dicker, no offense to virgins, hit the game-winning 37-yard field goal to give LA the win. Justin Herbert is now back to a 500 career record, and next week will try to finally have a winning career record for the first time ever. New England versus Indianapolis. This game was never close at any point, so I'm just really gonna rant. Poor Sam Ehlinger. After a respectful debut last week, he had to go into Foxborough against defensive terrorist Bill Belichick, and now his confidence is completely shattered after this 26-3 Patriots win. Ehlinger finished with 43 net yards on 38 dropbacks. That's 1.13 net yards per attempt. Lord carry him now. It's just a real shame the Colts don't have a quarterback on their roster who won a Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP against Belichick. Damn shame. As for New England, yeah, they won, but Mac Jones continues to regress. New England scored 2 touchdowns in this game, one of which was a pick six, and the other which was a 2-yard touchdown drive set up by a blocked punt. In other words, Jones actually led his offense to just 12 points on 12 drives. He averaged just 7.4 yards per completion and was sacked 4 times. Yeah, that's a nice tribute to Tom Brady, but New England isn't winning anything important with Jones under center. He's thrown 12 touchdowns and 14 interceptions since that 3-pass game versus Buffalo last year. It clearly messed with his confidence. Goddamn, Belichick is so powerful defensively, he even destroyed his own quarterback by mistake. But wow, look at that manly chest. It's a chest of the gods. Cincinnati versus Carolina. This game was all about Joe Mixon. He just kept punching and punching his way into the end zone with swift force, scoring 5 touchdowns on the day to brutally knock out the Panthers. It was all caught on camera too. 4 of Mixon's touchdowns came in the first half to give Cincy a 35-0 halftime lead. PJ Walker had a historically bad day. After a great performance in Atlanta last week, Walker finished with more attempts than passing yards, as well as 2 interceptions for a passer rating of 0.0. His historical level of incompetence led to the reemergence of Baker Mayfield, who threw a clutch touchdown pass to make it 35-7, and then after Mixon's 5th touchdown made it 42-7 Cincy after 3 quarters, Mayfield fired another ridiculously clutch touchdown to make it 42-14 with 8 minutes left. But he wasn't done though. He led a 3rd touchdown drive to reach the final score of 42-21. In my opinion, Baker just thrust himself back into the MVP discussion with his performance. As for Cincy, much like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow now has a career 500 record, and next week he will finally try to have a winning career record for the first time. I'm looking forward to it. No offense to Ray Charles. Jacksonville versus Las Vegas. Coming into this game, Josh McDaniels' squad had already blown 2 17-point leads this season. But surely against the lowly Jags, it wouldn't happen again, right? Well, at least things started off well, with Derek Carr finding Devontae Adams for 2 touchdowns to take a 17-0 lead early in the second quarter. Jacksonville finally got on the board with a Travis Etienne touchdown to make it 17-7, but it's okay since Vegas responded with a field goal and had a 20-10 lead at halftime. Trevor Lawrence found Christian Kirk to make it 20-17 early in the third, and at this point, some buttholes were tightening on the Las Vegas sideline. It's okay though. Vegas was still in control and would need just a few more points to put the game away. After a Vegas punt, Jacksonville scored another touchdown on an Etienne run to take a 24-20 lead early in the fourth, but there was still plenty of time though. But darn it, Vegas' next drive ended in another punt. They got the ball back down 4 again, but gosh darn it, they would punt again. Jacksonville missed a field goal, so Vegas again got the ball back down 4, but gosh darn it, they went 4 and out. Jacksonville added a field goal to make it 27-20, and Vegas got one more chance with 1 minute left to tie or win the game, and gosh darn it, they once again turned it over on downs to lose. They scored 0 points on 5 second-half drives in this embarrassing loss. Get ready for 2023 New England Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. The Jets versus Buffalo. This was the second game of the day to finish with a 20-17 score, and the fucking Jets actually beat the Bills? How the hell did that happen? Well, Josh Allen threw the ball like dog shit and had 2 terrible interceptions, but hey, at least he had a couple awesome touchdown runs, including a 36-yarder in the second quarter that put Buffalo up 14-3. But the Jets fought back, scoring a touchdown run of their own just before halftime to make it 14-10. The third quarter saw the Jets take the lead on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Zach Manziel to the recently acquired James Robinson. Surely, though, Allen would right the ship, no offense to the Titanic, and put the Jets away in the fourth quarter, right? Well, after Buffalo tied it at 17 with a field goal, Allen got the ball back again, but the drive stalled out around midfield. Zach Udoka then led New York on a time-consuming field goal drive to take a 3-point lead with 1:45 left, but Buffalo's final drive went nowhere, even as Allen fired an amazing 70-yard strike in the air on 4th and 21 that appeared to hit Gabe Davis right in the chest but fell incomplete. The Jets are now 6-3 under second-year head coach Xerxes. Who knew the bad guy from 300 knew so much about football? Detroit versus Green Bay. This was the pivotal game of the Packers season. They had to have this in order to stay alive as they were facing the worst defense in the league and a 1-6 team. So how did things go? Well, they lost, but not only did they lose, they scored just 9 points. To make matters worse, the biggest culprit of their demise was their future first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions, and each of them were brutal, as they all came deep in the red zone. The second one was especially egregious, as Rodgers underthrew a wide-open David Bakhtiari by at least 10 yards. Despite all of the incompetence, Green Bay still had a great chance to steal a win at the very end, as they were down 15-9 with 55 seconds left with 1st and 10 at Detroit's 17-yard line. But as has happened so many times before, Rodgers couldn't come through when it mattered most, throwing 4 straight incompletions to end the game and, in effect, the Packers' season. Barring a miracle winning streak, this should be Rodgers' last season in Green Bay, and maybe the NFL. It sounds dumb to call a guy who has amazing career numbers, a Super Bowl ring, a Super Bowl MVP, and 4 MVPs an underachiever, but that's exactly what Rodgers is. He's blown so many chances to win more rings, and now he's old and washed and a weirdo. As a former Rodgers superfan, it's sad to watch. Minnesota versus Washington, the third 20-17 game of the day. It's ironic that for so many years, Kirk Cousins has put up great numbers and efficiency just to finish at or around 500. And now this year, he's having his worst year as a full-time starter, and his team is 7-1. In his first return to class act Dan Snyder's beautiful palace known as FedEx Field, Cousins found Justin Jefferson for a touchdown to go up 7-0 after 1. But Minnesota's offense wouldn't score again until the fourth. And in the meantime, Washington ripped off 17 straight points, including 2 touchdown passes by Taylor Heineke to take a 17-7 lead early in the fourth. But Kirk woke up, leading a 68-yard field goal drive to make it 17-10. Then, as a tribute to fellow Trump supporter / women's college volleyball enthusiast Brett Favre, Heineke threw a terrible interception to set up Minnesota with a 12-yard touchdown drive, capped off by a dime from Cousins to Dalvin Cook to tie the game at 17 with 7:46 left. Washington went 3 and out, setting up Kirk to be the hero, and he got Minnesota to kick a go-ahead field goal with 1:55 left. But Washington got flagged for unnecessary roughness, so Minnesota took their own points off the board to drain the clock down to 16 seconds before kicking the field goal again to take a 20-17 lead to win the game. Look at how thick Kirk is. Damn. Miami versus Chicago. Tua System-Valoa is now 6-0 in games this year where he didn't die. And this game was a surprisingly fun and exciting watch, as Miami squeaked out a 35-32 road win over a rapidly improving Justin Fields. The first quarter was pretty nondescript. Chicago kicked a field goal and Miami responded with a touchdown run to go up 7-3, 7-3, and then the scoring exploded. Fields threw a touchdown to Cole Kmet to go up 10-7, Tua answered with a touchdown to famous supporter of pregnant women Tyreek Hill to go up 14-10. Then Miami returned a blocked punt for a touchdown to go up 21-10, but Fields answered with another touchdown just before halftime to make it 21-17. In the third, Tua found Jalen Waddle for a touchdown to go up 28-17. Then Fields ripped off a 61-yard touchdown run and a successful two-point conversion to make it 28-25 Miami. But then Tua found Jeff Wilson, who has the perfect name for a white car insurance salesman, to go up 35-25 after 3. Fields answered with yet another touchdown pass to Cole Kmet to make it 35-32 Miami, and then the scoring stopped. Word to my sex life. Miami turned it over on downs, Chicago punted, then Miami punted, and on Chicago's final drive, a controversial non-defensive pass interference penalty call on 3rd and 10 on a pass thrown to the newly acquired Chase Claypool set up a final 4th and 10 for Fields, who threw another incompletion to seal the loss. Fields still has flaws as a passer, but his running ability is insane, as he just had the second most rushing yards by a quarterback ever in a single game, and he is improving. But one good month does not make a good quarterback. We shall see if his progress continues. Seattle versus Arizona. The overlooked afternoon game from yesterday actually had a decent amount of action. Seattle got out to a 3-0 lead, but Kyler Murray found NFL Combine hotel room enjoyer DeAndre Hopkins for a touchdown to go up 7-3 after one quarter. But Eugene Cyril Smith III found DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf to go up 10-7 at halftime. Things started to get really interesting in the third. In order to make things more interesting, Geno purposely threw a pick six to Zaven Collins to give Arizona a 14-10 lead before coming right back to lead a 13-play touchdown drive, finished by a touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett to give Seattle a 17-14 lead entering the fourth. Arizona punted, and Geno promptly led another 13-play touchdown drive, capped off by a Kenneth Walker run to go up 24-14. Arizona responded with a Kyler touchdown pass to the sexy Zach Ertz to make it 24-21, but Geno just laughed at them, throwing a 51-yard bomb before Walker did the rest on the ground to go up 31-21 with 2 minutes left. One last drive by Arizona went nowhere to seal the Seattle win. Geno Smith is a legitimate MVP candidate for a 6-3 team. What a world we live in. Tampa Bay versus the Rams. Oh great, it's this game. Well, if you wanted to sum up Tom Brady's career in one game, this was it. He won by a score of 16-13. He was horrendous for about 58 minutes, but his defense was amazing all game long, giving him chance after chance to take the lead. Brady fans will cry and point out the drops by his receivers, and I'll point out the multiple dropped pick sixes he should have had. After LA went up 7-3 in the second quarter, Brady's offense had 11 straight drives, where a touchdown would either tie or give Tampa the lead. In each of his next 10 drives, Brady failed to do it. Thanks to Sean McVay being a coward with his play calling, Cooper Kupp deciding to slide instead of fighting for a first down to end the game, a terrible offensive line, and Matthew Stafford looking beyond washed up, and, of course, a patented BS defensive pass interference call to get the ball down to the 1, Brady finally led the go-ahead touchdown drive on his 11th chance against a hilariously and inexplicably soft prevent defense that didn't even bother guarding the sidelines despite Tampa being out of timeouts. Brady finished with 4.8 yards per attempt and 7.8 yards per completion. I fucking hate seeing shit like this get rewarded. Now, at 4-5, Brady is somehow first in his division while his old team and coach are 5-4 and in last place in their division. We will never see a luckier player in sports ever again. Kansas City versus Tennessee. The fourth and final 2017 game this weekend started out looking like it was going to be another shootout. No offense to the Jedi who died on Geonosis. Kansas City jumped out to a 9-0 lead after a Mahomes touchdown to Mecole Hardman. Then the Tits answered with back-to-back touchdown runs by Derrick Henry to go up 14-9 at halftime. From there, the game became pretty ugly. Tennessee scored just 3 points on their last 8 drives, and those 3 points were set up by a Mahomes interception to go up 17-9. Mahomes had 3 drives down 8 to tie it up. The first ended in a missed field goal, and the next 2 ended in punts. But finally, on his 4th chance, Mahomes led an impressive 93-yard touchdown drive where he converted a 3rd and 17 on the ground, then scored a 14-yard touchdown run and the 2-point conversion to tie it at 17 with 2:56 left. Mahomes got the ball back with 1:47 left with a chance to win in regulation, but failed. In overtime, KC won the coin toss, and Mahomes made a few more insane plays, but only got a field goal to go up 20-17. With a chance to win the game with a touchdown, rookie Malik Willis burped up all over himself as Tennessee's final drive went 4 plays for negative 16 yards to end the game. Baltimore versus New Orleans. The final game of this lovely week of football was a complete dud. No offense to her loss. Baltimore struck first like a scorpion after Lamar Jackson found Isaiah Likely on a nice touchdown pass to go up 7-0. But nothing was the same once Kenyon Drake ran for a score to make it 14-0 Baltimore late in the first half. Will Lutz made sure New Orleans had more life after connecting on a field goal to make it 14-3 at halftime. This game was pretty boring, so I'd love to talk about how my wife left me, me, but she's so far gone that, well, honestly, never mind. My wife's boyfriend is a certified lover boy, and the two love to meet up late at night in dark lanes to listen to his demo tapes. Back to football, the teams exchanged field goals in the third to make it 17-6 heading into the fourth, but once Kenyon Drake ran for another score to make it 27-6 Baltimore with 7 minutes left, the number of views for the game rapidly dropped. New Orleans briefly got into comeback season with the Andy Dalton touchdown pass with 4 minutes left to make it 27-13, but if you're reading this, it was too late for the Saints as Baltimore ran out the rest of the clock, telling Saints fans to take care on their way out. The Saints are now 3-6, but still have a chance to win the NFC South. What a time to be alive. Enough football. It's puppy time. You can thank me later.